Safe to assume, Coach, part of the game plan today was to lighten the mood here a little bit, or attempt to lighten the mood while at the still.
You know, it's less about the mood than the mind. It's about freeing the mind. This has been the toughest month I've had in hockey in my life, and just because we've been on the road for a month, and then we've had some tough games that didn't turn our way, and we're at the end of the short trip, and we know it's heavy. You could feel it. Guys get irritated real fast, and everybody is feeling the same thing, and everybody wants the same thing. Everybody's pushing. The stress, the heaviness, and all that stuff is something you have to take care of. And if you don't, well, it just becomes more heavy and more heavy. And you can't have energy if you don't have the enthusiasm, and you can't have the enthusiasm if you can't get yourself a free mind. And that was our job today, to do that as a staff, to do that as hockey players. And so we got on the ice and wanted to get some drills just to get some flow in the legs, and wanted to get some games in there which serve a competitive purpose, but also serve freeing the mind purpose. And we saw some guys finally, have some little light in there in their smiles. And so with a light mind, you give yourself a chance to have light legs and have loose hands to be able to finish the scoring chances that we're getting, that we're not finishing right now. And that's where it was at today.
Roster changes for tomorrow at all? Do you know?
I haven't decided which guy's coming out. Clayson's coming in for sure.
Okay.
So Kondo will be in. And besides that, I'm not sure which other guy's going to be coming out right now, but Clayson will be in for sure.
Was Nate Thompson?
Oh, it's maintenance for now. Yeah,
okay.
Unless tomorrow it's Harris says too much and you can't go. He was when he blocked that shot. That's what it was. Yeah. So he should be okay. He's going to get on the ice tomorrow and see where that's at. But there will be no morning skate tomorrow. Guys will come here for a stretch, and maybe some guys can get on optional or whatever. But we've done what we needed to do today. And our focus is really on ourselves and making sure that we don't come in the game tight like we were last game. That was clearly. I think the players last game were really, really tight. I knew that going into the game. Like, I saw it right away. It's just right away when they made a mistake, they were very irritated. When we got that first penalty, guys were like frustrated, and that's just a sign of guys who want it too much. And it's not the opposite. And so that's where it's my job to figure that out. When it's a game like Winnipeg, where that's where you don't want to be, and that's not enough. That's one thing, and then the repercussions is that we got to work harder and practice, and we got to, which we did, and we got a hard game out of our players. The two games that followed. But the last game, that was not the issue. It was the opposite. It was wanting it too much, wanted to make sure that we were looking at a trip, or maybe we could be 500, and then so on. And I think that when you put on that kind of pressure, instead of just being focused on coming on the ice and taking one period at a time, and you just make it so big and so heavy. It's different if you've been winning for a while and things are loose already. Then the goals that you put on yourself and the expectations and the pressure you put on yourself can be very positive. But right now is the opposite. You gotta take some things out of your mind and of the heaviness that it's been. And I think that's our jobs as staff and as players to do that today and tomorrow, and come in with a frame of mind that tomorrow is a one-game thing. We're not playing the trip. We're not playing the back-to-back. We're not. It's an isolated day, and that's what it has to be every day. So we can't carry the past, because we can't move forward if we stay stuck on the past.
How do you make? I don't know how to put this. How do you make sure the players tune out the outside noise? There's some talk.
I don't know. It depends on you guys. How many times you ask them? You know what? It's in the end. Two things. One is to be honest when you're given answers. That you are focused on the moment. You can't be a great athlete if you're not focused on the moment. It's impossible. You can't be a good team if you're not focused on the moment. And I think last game was one of those games where we were not. We were focused on the past and on the future, and we were very tight. And that's where the stress is. That's where the pressure is. That's where, so there's always pressure. So that's just something that exists. But when you add on and add on and add on to it, then it becomes like a boiling jar that just wants to blow. And that's what you can't have, or else you can't win games this way. And we've recognized that, and that's why we've addressed it now. And I think our players are great today. You saw a much more enthusiastic group, and guys who are just loose, because you can't have loose hands if you're always afraid to miss a scoring chance, because that's the scoring chance that makes you win or lose, and vice versa. You can't get scored against and say, oh my God, that's the winning goal of the game already. So right now we had to work on our minds, and we did. And so it's important that we keep our eyes on the moment. It's because that's the only way to have success. If you're not in the moment, then you can't be a good athlete. You can't be a good team. And that's the job of the outside, because the outside is to make it an ongoing saga of success, or the opposite. It's talk about previous stats, is to talk about future events, is to talk about all of that to make it exciting for fans. But for an athlete, it's totally the opposite. It's you got to have the strength, and you got to have the capabilities to tune everything out and be in the moment. And if you are, then you're really giving yourself a chance to win. I mean, that's what sports psychologists are paid for. They're paid thousands of dollars to make these athletes understand what's important short term, in the moment, right now. So today was a practice day, and that's all there is today. We can't win or lose a game today. We're not playing the trip that we've just been on for the last month, luckily. And we're certainly not playing, the next games that are going to be at home, or, the weekend game and all that. And anytime that we go back or forward, we just sabotage our chances to win the game of the moment.